So in my first video I made about this system, some viewers have commented about how to program configuration variables with this system, as they say it in the manual, but sometimes extra visual helps. So I thought I'd give my viewers that so they can understand how to do this better. So what a configuration variable is that inside the soundboards of usually N-scale HO and ON30 locomotives are these several settings that you can change, which are mainly controlling different function outputs that the locomotive emits. So that could be a different whistle tone, that could be a different bell, that could be a rate that the bell rings, or a pitch that the whistle blows at, or a brightness of the headlight, and several different settings like that. And for today's demonstration, I'll be using my Bachmann HO scale Russian decapod, as you see in front of you. One more thing I forgot to mention, that configuration variables don't only appear in locomotives that have sound, which is like this one which you see in front of you, as they may appear or be found in some regular traditional just DCC fitted locomotives. But for the purpose of today's video, I'm just going to show you what it's like to change a certain sound function. Alrighty, so a question one may be asking once they open up their locomotive from the box is, where can I find all these, for say, configuration variables that I want to program? So the answer to that is that you can find them in mainly two spots as far as I know, and that is through looking through your quick start guide, as this is the proper pamphlet for the Bachmann Spectrum Decapod, as inside the manual you will find many different notations made by soundtracks. But this manual does not go into detail the specific different CV numbers and codes that you are able to program to change the specific sound sets of your locomotive. But the second way to find out where your CVs are is to go on google.com or any search engine and type up what you see in the search bar, which is Soundtrack's factory installed decoders, and you can click on the first link. Yep, and that will take you to the Soundtrack's factory installed decoders page. Now, since I mentioned earlier that the decoder in this locomotive is Soundtrack's, all I have to do is just, since the beauty of an iPad, I can just do that. I can just click on Bachmann Industries, because the locomotive we're working with today is a Bachmann locomotive. And I'm going to take a look at these quad start bars here, and I'm going to zoom in to where it says Spectrum, and you're going to press that, and then a little drop down menu will come down. And there are a couple different menus here. You can click, as you see, the different scales in the quick start guide option, but since we already have a copy of the quick start guide, we don't need to click that tab. So for today's reference, we'll be clicking HO scale. And then this will take us to the list of all the different Bachmann Spectrum HO scale locomotives with sound value factory equipped that Bachmann has ever made. And since our locomotive is a USRA 210 decapod, all we have to do is just click that hyperlink there, and that will take us to the decapod's programming chart page. Now this is where all of your CVs are located that you're able to program and change the different values of and outputs of. But for today's example, we're going to be changing the whistle on Nashville and Chattanooga number 952, which is the decapod sitting on my track. Since today's example is going to be changing the whistle, before we look at the whistle selections area, we have to figure out what CV number programs the whistles. And that is to go down to the far left-hand column and start working your way over to find out where it says whistle selection. And for that, this is the beauty of Apple devices, you can just zoom in like this. It's really great. We see that the CV number for whistle selection is 115. And keep that number in mind, as we'll use it just a little bit later. To the right-hand side of the whistle selection row, you can see that there are two zeros numbered in there, and that means that out of the box, the locomotive default whistle selection is the 00 setting, or the 0 setting. And if we go back up to the whistle selections section in the top part of the document, you can see that the 0 setting whistle is a Reading 6 chime. Alrighty, so for our example today, we will be switching the whistle from the default value of 0 to the value of 1, which is going to be a B&O 3-chime whistle. So the locomotive currently is set at its default whistle tone, which is the Reading 6-chime, and I'm going to now tell you how to change it to the B&O 3-chime. So with the MRC Prodigy Explorer, it is very easy to do so. I did not find any difficulty learning how to do this, as I self-taught myself how to use this system, and I hope that you will find it very easy to do as well. So first things first is to go down to the transformer and locate the P button, as my pointer finger is at right now. And what you're going to want to do is press the P button. So that puts you into program mode, and if you press it correctly, you'll see that the direction lights start flashing. Okay, and remember that number I said to remember earlier, the 115? You're going to want to enter that now. So I'm going to press 1, 1, 5, and then you're going to press enter. Okay, and that puts you in the official programming mode of CV value 115. And now since we don't want to put it back to 0, or re-enter the 0 configuration, or put a 2 in there, all you have to do is just press 1, since we're changing it to the B&O 3-chime, and then you're going to press enter. And if you go ahead to our locomotive and we press the whistle key on the MRC Prodigy Explorer, you now have heard the successful transition into the B&O 3-chime whistle. And that is about it for today's video. I wanted to keep it nice and short so the explanation does not run on for quite a long time. I hope you guys learned something today, and I hope this video helped answer some questions that you may have on programming CVs, on your MRC Prodigy Explorer, and I hope that you were able to share this information with your friends and help them learn something too. So that's it for today. I'm Zach with Sunset Island Railroad Productions, and I'd like to thank you for watching, and I'll see you the next time you visit the island. Thank you.